Hello, Just Too Good here, back for another review, and today we're reviewing another LEGO Speed Champions 2015 set. It's set number 75912. It's called the Porsche 911 GT Finish Line. Has 551 pieces, 4 minifigures, and it retails for $50 in the United States. Now let's take a look at the minifigures. Alright, so here's the first minifigure that we'll take a look at. This is kind of the orange racer of the set, and he has Porsche Motorsport on the front and back of his torso, which may look like the one that was used in the 918, but that one had a different torso because his had kind of a lime top part right there, and this one has an orange one, so that's pretty cool that this is an exclusive torso. You got a head that's a little bit more uncommon, and if you take off his helmet that's included in the set, they actually include a hat for when he's on the finish line, so that's a pretty nice hat to get. It's that newer style in that kind of blue coloring, dark blue coloring. So that's it for this guy, and now on to the next. And here is the next racer, which has a red helmet and kind of a red theme, including his torso top part right there. And his torso is different besides that red coloring because it also has mobile oil right there, the mobile logo on his torso, while the other guy did not. And if you go 360 view, it just has kind of the same back that you'd expect from the same one from the other guy, except, you know, it has the red top part right there. Other than that, he also has a hat that if you take off the helmet, you would give it to him at the finish line. And it's that same dark blue hat, but still pretty cool that they include two in this set. Here is the flagman, and his torso and his headpiece are both very common. He has a red baseball cap, no back torso printing, and he also has this little flag right here, which is using a sticker on both sides, which is a little bit of a shame that they didn't just use the printed one, but oh well. And here is the woman who is probably part of the press, judging by her torso right there that says press. And her torso is actually quite rare because it only came in one city train from last year. So that's a very nice print to get in this set. But her headpiece and her hairpiece are both very common. She also has a little camera right there. No back printing on her face, but some nice back printing on her torso. Also included in this set are prizes for when they reach the finish line, like this gold trophy, which is that new molding originally released in the minifigures line. And also this silver cup for the second place winner. Now, if you don't like stickers, you're not in luck with this set because there's actually 51 stickers altogether. There's 3 different sticker sheets in this set, and there's 51 altogether, and that's a lot of stickers. But trust me, when they're all put on, it makes a set look really nice. Alright, so here are some of the new molds that are in the Speed Champions line that are included in this set. You get a few of these little new mud guards in orange, and you do get a few in white, which have a cool look to them and kind of match the supercar style. Also, you get 4 sets of the new alloy wheels. Now, there's 2 sets of the ones with 14 spikes, and you get one of those sets in black, then one in kind of this silver steel color, flat silver color. And then you get 2 of the ones that are modeled after the one from the 918, and you get those in kind of that steel flat silver color. Then you get those in that black color. Then you do get this new windscreen right here, the new type of wheel, and a new type of tire. And also, it's nice to get, I know this isn't like an exclusive molding, but it's nice to get a 2x2 tile or a 2x2 brick finally in this trans black color. We haven't gotten that in that color before. Of course, how you attach these alloy wheels is you take this part and then you put the tire on. Then you put the wheel onto, or the tire onto the wheel, and then you just stick the alloy wheel, which attaches from this part into the middle like that, and there you go. And if you want to remove it, you just take the wrench that's included in this set, which this one has a smaller wrench than some of the other sets, which you just push in there, and then you can take out that little part. So that's it, and now let's go on to the build itself. So before we get on to the cars themselves, the whole build together, which we'll take a look at everything else after the cars, is this little winning stand right here, and also the little starting line and finish line right there, which has some cool features and some little parts in between that aren't even connected to anything, and then of course the cars themselves. So here are both cars. You have the Porsche 911 GT3R Hybrid and the Porsche 911 RSR. Here's the Porsche 911 GT3R. Such a fantastic car in real life and a fantastic car here. I actually like this portrayal of the car better than I like the LEGO portrayal of the 918. Not that that's a bad portrayal whatsoever, because that's an excellent portrayal as well. But this has a lot of stickers going on here, but I think they use them to a better cause than, say, the Porsche 918, which was a whole nother set review. For example, I like how they use the brake lights here as a sticker, because they actually look like brake lights. Same goes with the front, where the front lights right there actually look like front lights. See, with the 918, we kind of had these white lights that looked, or they were a little bit more silver than white, and they looked like they were just pieces of metal. But this one looks like it's an actual, front light. The only thing I don't like about this really portrayal, and the same goes with the next car that we'll take a look at, is this front little radiator right here looks really off than the real life version, because the real life version is very smooth on the front. But this one looks a little bit too chunky with the stud showing. I think a simple fix to that would have been using the piece that's found on like other sets like the 918 Spider, which is this front piece, which is a shorter one than using these kind of 3x3 ones with the curves right there. So it would have been better if they just used this piece than those 3x3s. But other than that, very sleek looking car. And you could even put a minifigure in there, of course, because you just lift up the hood like that, slip the minifigure in, then you close the hood. Now, if you're a sticker perfectionist like me, I think you get to a point where you don't want to put the stickers too close to each other and just kind of match how it looks in the instruction booklet. And so I kind of put it like that, but that kind of ruins the back kind of a window right there that's it's supposed to represent, and I don't like how that came out. Other than that, very, very nice looking car. And of course, you could replace those wheels right there with the ones that look closer to the one on the 918, which they do include in this set in black. Here you can see I've replaced the alloy wheels with the ones included in the set that look a little bit more like the one on the 918 Spider. And it still looks fine, even though some may not consider that the proper wheel design. And that's it for this vehicle. Just one last look at the whole vehicle itself. And a few things I really do like about this, they're kind of minor details, are these little exhaust pipes on the back. And the sloping on the doors right here, even though you can't open those doors. Alright, so here is a Porsche 911 RSR, and it looks great here as it does in real life. I think they really did a great portrayal with this as well. But it does face the same problems as the last car, where this front part right here is a little bit too blocky and not very sleek. I wish they didn't show the studs on front, and like I said, they could have easily just included this piece in white, and it would have made it much better, because then these 3x3 little rounded plates right there wouldn't have been too big and popping out. But other than that, great design on the front. Again, I like how they used these little, I like how the little front lights right here are more recognizable as front lights than, say, the one on the 918 set. And you can see there's lots of stickers in this one as well. And the back does have those nice little exhaust pipes as well. And it even has this little tail right here, which you can move up and down on the hinge, just like the last car, which you can move up and down on the hinge. But this one says Porsche, and the back part right here kind of has that same weird kind of look to it with this little window part that's supposed to be a window, I'd assume, and it just is kind of this black part, so it doesn't look too, I guess, too much like a window. But other than that, of course, you could take off this little windshield right here, which is a great piece. And inside you see you have some red seating, and you could fit the minifigure in there. And while there's nothing else to there, I kind of like the design of the cushion on the chair, where they use kind of this inverted bracket piece on it with a tile, and then these little cheese slopes, which are really cool. And then they kind of have this front part right here with the steering wheel. You just pop that back in, and there you go. He's tight inside there. A look at the bottom, and then remember you could replace the wheels with these, which they include in the set, which are the ones that appear more like the ones on the Spider. Now that you see that we have those extra alloy wheels put into place and took out those other alloy wheels that are included in the set out, and these are the ones that appear on the 918 Spider, you can see that they still look really cool to the car, and it provides for some cool customization options for this car. So here's one last look at the car all together. Very cool looking model. And now let's go on to the actual build of the set, which is the big finish line and everything. Alright, so here is the finish line part. You have this kind of winning grandstand, and also this little part right here, which is the start and finish line. And we'll take a look at the start and finish line first, which is actually really cool because it does have a cool play feature that you guys wouldn't even expect, but it's very, very useful. And basically, it's with that top little axle up there, which you can kind of see popping out. But right here, if you pull this, you'll see that the red light pops out, then the orange light, and then the green light, which means go. So that's actually a really cool feature. And you could just easily push it back up, then put the little Technic axle back inside there, and it keeps it back in place. So that's really cool. And for the rest of the actual build itself, it's pretty simple. It's what you expect from like a start or finish line. There's a little start sign right there, and it says lap 1, lap time, and it says 1 minute and 27 seconds. And there's also these little stickers up here, along with that sticker in the middle, which have kind of those checkered little designs. And other than that, not much else going on here. You can see how kind of the function works. on the back right there, where if you pull this, all the pieces kind of fall out like that. So that's it for this little build. Look at the top. And let's go on to the other builds. So here is kind of the winning spot. You have some loose builds right here, which include this little wheel part. So it's nice to get an extra wheel in the set, and this just holds an extra little wheel. And it does use this little technique right here where they use those little parts that you would usually find as hinge pieces, but instead they use them as kind of to appear as wheels. So I guess that's kind of clever. And also they do the same technique with this little drawer right here, which has some extra tools. You can see inside if you take out the drawers. I have an extra little wrench right there, and what looks to be a screwdriver or something. And they do include some tools that they would tell you to like put on like that little tiled part or the top of this drawer. But I would not like to put that there because, you know, it easily falls off. So they include like an oil can and these two parts right here. So that's just, you know, the more the tools the merrier, I guess. It's just extra pieces so you can play around with. But they do hold some more tools at the bottom right here. But you can see the bottom has a sticker part that says boost, fuel, oil, air, which that's pretty cool in that sloped little roof tile or roof brick. And then this tool shack right here actually has a few more tools that do come in the set, so that's nice. Other than that, not too much going on at the bottom, but it's nice to get these panel pieces in red, which is a little bit more uncommon for that piece. And there's not much in the inside either. And let's move on to the top. And for the top part, I really love the checkered wall right here, which they use some of those little hinge pieces in white and black and kind of mix them together, which is really fun and it looks great. Then you have these little stickered parts right here, which has a first, second, and third place, and you would stick your racers there, but unfortunately they only include, you know, 2 racers in this set. So you would have to buy some of the other Speed Champions sets to kind of complete that little circle right there of 3 racers. But don't worry because the actual starting line is big enough to fit 3 different cars. So that's really cool. They do use this piece right here, which is one of those long pole pieces, but one of the flexible ones as a railing, which comes out really cool looking. And I like how they did these little flags up here in terms of the design, where they kind of put these clips kind of slanted, and it makes it look a little bit more genuine to, you know, winners kind of parts. The only thing I don't like about those flags is that they only give 1 sticker, so you're not supposed to put any on the back, which looks kind of lame if you ask me. Again, I don't know why they didn't just use the printed checkered flag piece that they've used in many sets before. But the back, this may look a little bit confusing, but it comes into a play feature, where if you go to the front, you just kind of move these little gears on the side, and it puts the flags up. So that's really cool. You may say, oh, well, my country isn't there. Well, they actually give you some more different flags for different countries. So we'll start off right here, and they give you one for Italy, they give you one for Russia, they give you one for Denmark, they give you one for France, and then they give you one for Spain. So you could switch those flags out whichever way you want, or you could just keep the one for Germany, the one for the United States, and the one for the United Kingdom if you'd like. And to switch those out, you just kind of push it like that, and then push it right here. And very simple and easy way, but again, it provides for more customization, more fun. A lot of people are going to be looking forward to those little stickered pieces on these tiles because a lot of people like having, you know, little flag prints or whatnot. Unfortunately, it's not a printed piece, but still, as a sticker, it's very welcome. And that's it for this, and now let's take a look at the box. And here's the front of the box and the back, which includes some nice car facts. And the set does include 3 kind of big instruction booklets because it was kind of a long build with some cool advertisements on them for some of the Speed Champion sets. Now let's go into the final verdict. Overall, this is an excellent set, and I think it's really worth the $50 price point. Now, you see the cars in this set are both very accurate to their real-life counterparts. I'd say even more so than some of the $15 cars in this line. My only problem with them is the front little radiator parts, which both of them have the same problem where they could have just used this design right here with this new piece, and it would have made it look a lot more accurate and a lot more smoother. Other than that, my only other problem is these stickers on top, which I guess are supposed to represent kind of these back windows, but they don't really pull it off that well because they just kind of print black on them. Other than that, great kind of build with the playset with some really nice, unique play features that I wouldn't believe that LEGO could even pull off, but they pulled it off perfectly, and some great pieces. The minifigures themselves are also great, with 2 having unique torsos, 1 having rare torsos, and all of them kind of fitting the setting of this set. So I went with this set in A. That's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys later, hopefully with more Speed Champion reviews. Bye.